All right, good morning, everybody. Can you guys all hear me? Be able to get some answers in the YouTube stream? All right, so welcome to learningwithme.org. Today we're going to be creating a program that's called Jurassic Park. Obviously, we're not going to be creating a full complete game because it's the introductory class. I just want to get you guys set up and rolling so you guys can get familiar with the platform, what programming even is, and then we can get going with more interesting games as the course progresses. So let's get started. First of all, just so everyone's aware that we're on the same page, we're going to go over a code of conduct. So we want to make sure everybody's respectful to everyone. Everyone learns at a different pace. So we want to make sure that we tailor it to that and just stay respectful about that. For you guys, because you're on the YouTube stream, please be mindful of what you chat and what you put in the comments. Please keep it respectful and related to what we're talking about. And because you guys are using YouTube stream, you already probably know how to use the chat function. So we'll keep going. So my first question to you guys is, what is a computer? A computer is an electrical device that stores and processes data. It follows instructions, which is what we call coding. So again, a computer is nothing by itself. A computer is an electrical device, so it uses electricity, stores and processes data, and it follows instructions that humans give it. So that's what coding is. Now, what are some of the parts of the computer that you guys know? Obviously, there's the keyboard and the mouse pad, or just a simple mouse as well, speakers and headphones. Those are things that go along with it. But what really makes a computer? The most important parts are the CPU and the RAM. So the CPU stands for the Central Processing Unit, and that is the brain of the computer. And the RAM is the random access memory. So that's for quick memory storage so we can quickly do the coding that we've instructed it to do. So I have a little question for you guys to see if you're following along so far. Is a calculator a computer? Yes, no, maybe so. The answer is yes, it is a computer because it processes information. It takes input from what we press into it, and it gives us something out, and it's electrical. And the other question is there a computer in your smartphone? And that is true. Yes, there is a computer in your smartphone. So there's computers all around us, and there's as small as your phone and calculators, and they're as big as your TV. All right, so let's talk about computers, which is the tool we're going to use. Let's talk about coding. What exactly is coding? We've heard it so much these days. Coding is a step-by-step instructions that computers follow to give you an output, right? Step-by-step instructions that computers follow to give you an output. So when I'm putting numbers into my phone or typing buttons on the computer or keyboard, typing on the keyboard, the computer's processing that information and then it displays it on the screen, or it does some reaction, or it plays the movie if I'm clicking play. So those are all instructions that I give into a computer, and it follows along and gives me an output, it demonstrates something. And what are some coding languages out there? Obviously, some of the most popular ones that you guys know, it's Python, Java, HTML. Another one is Scratch. Now, Scratch is a block-based language, so it doesn't have the same kind of syntax or writing formatting as Python and Java per se, but because it teaches you how to code and it has the same logic, and that's the purpose of the program, we are going to stick with that as a coding language. And that's what we're going to learn. Isn't that epic? Okay, so just like how a computer is going to think, the setup of Scratch, which is the platform we're going to use, is very similar. So it's really good for you guys to get familiar with it before we, just jump onto the bandwagon. So on your, let's see, left, yes, this is the left. On the left, you're going to have a tab that says code. And within code, there's a bunch of other tabs like motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. By clicking on each one, you're going to notice a number of different colorful blocks. So all the motion blocks are blue, and motion meaning movement, these are going to deal with moving. So the first block, as you can see, says move 10 steps. If I go into sound, I might get play the sound blank for 10 seconds, something like that. So it's really cool because you can drag these blocks and bring them into the process part. You drag your commands here. So these are called commands. You can drag them into your process area. And then when you put them together in a good sequence that works, it's going to output it on the screen. It might make the cat move. It might do something else, whatever the output is. So if I were to take move 10 steps, put it here, click on it, this cat would probably move 10 steps. Now it's important to note that all these steps happen for the cat because that is my sprite. So this is pretty important because later on, maybe we don't want a cat in our game, especially in Jurassic Park. I want dinosaurs. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get rid of the cat and I'm going to add a dinosaur to the game. And that dinosaur is going to have the code. So different parts of the game can have different codes. And then also just make sure you have costumes up here so that can change how my sprite looks, and sounds, which is maybe I have like background music that I want. But we'll get into the details later. One last thing is that you'll notice a share button at the top. If you want to share your code, please make sure that you have confirmed your email address in Scratch, and then they'll let you share your code. So let's keep moving on. So today's code is Jurassic Park. It's very basic. It's so that we can explore the console. What exactly are we creating in this Jurassic Park game? To give you some background, we're going to be using a background. We're going to have sound. We're going to have at least 2 animals, 2 dinosaurs. We're going to make the animals move and interact with each other. We're going to look at costumes so that we can see those interactions, because obviously I don't just look like one thing and move around like a robot. I have facial expressions. So my characters probably have facial expressions. So how do I change between those? Let's get started. So what we're going to do is I would put this in the chat for you guys, or whatever our program coordinators could. And you can click it. And what you have to do is look for the sign in or the join button and the create button. So if you haven't made an account yet, click on join Scratch, follow the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. If you have, click on sign in and put your password in, and then click create. We should be good to go. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to share my screen. All right, so this is the Scratch website. You'll go down and you'll notice a bunch of games here. So check those out. But if you haven't made an account, click on join Scratch. If you have, click on sign in. And you're going to type in your username and then your password. Awesome. And once you're in, you're going to see a platform that looks a little bit different than before. It has Scratch news, and then also the games, then what's happening. So that's just latest information about Scratch. You'll find any messages that people send you up here. And if you want to know more about Scratch, how it works, click About, get inspired with the ideas, explore other people's games. And today we're going to look at Create, which in my opinion is like the most important feature in Scratch. So once you click Create, it's going to load my project. Awesome. So remember, the very, very top up here, you can title it. So we can call this like dinosaur theme or art, call whatever you want. And let's do a full good tour of the console so that if you're following along today. Oh, are you guys able to see my screen? You can't see my screen, right? Okay, that's what I thought, because it says I'm sharing. Let's try again. Okay, how about now? It says this tab is sharing your screen. So. All right, is it visible now? I think it should be good. No, still not. All right, we're good. Awesome. So yes, as I was saying, this is literally the live version of that picture I was showing you. So feel free to change the name to Dinosaur Game or Jurassic Game. And I have a bright orange share button, so I can share my link or my game to the outside world. Well, because I have confirmed my email. So please confirm your email if you just created your account. All right, so let's go through these blocks. We got motion. We can drag these and drop them into our processing area. We have looks. What is looks about? Looks is about saying something. So maybe I want my character to say something. I click on it. It says hello, so I can change that information. Another really important one is switch costume. So that's going to change what my cat looks like. So if I were to click on it, I can actually click on this drop-down menu, and it's going to tell me the different costumes that my Scratch cat has. Obviously, they have very similar ones because it's a cat. So there's a running pose and there's a walking pose. And sounds, we can play the sound meow. We can start the sounds, a bunch of different manipulations that you can do. Event is really important, and so is when green flag clicked. Control has all the loops that you've ever heard of in coding. We have repeats, forever loops, if, then else statements, repeat until. We have sensing blocks, which are super duper important that we're going to use today, and they kind of tell you if the sprites have interacted with each other by comparing pixels. So this is really cool. This is how you can take user input. And then we have operators and variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my codes to the console to get rid of them. And we're going to start our code now. So we're going to start by getting rid of our cat. Once the cat's gone, we have a blank screen. Now, you're going to notice the stage button highlights up. You're going to click on choose a background, and we can click on the magnifying glass. The magnifying glass has a whole library of backgrounds that you can choose. So, because we're in Jurassic Park, let's try picking something that is, reminds you of like Jurassic Park or like a place where dinosaurs would chill. But if you wanted to, you can make it like a nice city. You can make it a park. This is your game, so make it as creative and as you as possible. So let's go to the wetlands. It's a very geometrical and interesting background. So on my checklist, I had background. Background is done. Let's now pick our sprites. So a sprite is like the main object that's moving around. So just like how we had the cat on the screen, that was our sprite. Sorry. We now want two dinosaurs. So we're going to go on choose a sprite. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass. And oh my gosh. Scroll down to find a dinosaur. Now we have dinosaur 1, dinosaur 2, dinosaur 3, dinosaur 4, and 5. Again, you can pick whatever dinosaur you like. I'm going to pick one that's facing the right and then later on the left. So let's start with dinosaur 2. This nice pink dinosaur, and I can move it around my screen if I want, right? We're going to click on choose a sprite again. We're going to click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to select another dinosaur. Again, this is a dinosaur interacting with a dinosaur. If you don't want to, you can pick like Dee and Danny interacting in the middle of the jungle. I don't know. So we have our second dinosaur here. So we got two dinosaurs. We got a background. But guess what? Nothing happens. That's just literally, it's just a picture. I want something more interesting, right? I want these guys to move around. So how am I going to do that? Let's say I want to start with dinosaur 2. I can name dinosaur 2 like Timmy or something. This is dinosaur Timmy. And let's say I take my dinosaur 5. It says dinosaur 5 here. I'm going to call this sprite Bluey. Blue, or maybe Roar, because big dinosaur likes Roar. All right, we have Timmy, who's a little timid, and Roar, who's not really timid. So let's click on Timmy. Let's click on the red one. And the most important piece of code, block of code on Scratch is in events, which is the fourth one down, and the first one, when green flag clicked. When green flag clicked, is going to signal to my code that it should start. So when I click the green flag up here, I don't know if you noticed, but we have a green flag and we have a stop. If I click on the green flag, it's going to play my code out. Without the green flag, I can't start any coding. So it's a good first block of code because that way everyone knows what to do on the first step. And green flag clicked. All right, so what do I want to say in my made up story? Also, if you notice, if I click on Roar, if I click on the blue one, then, oh, it froze. When I click on the blue one, the block of code disappears. And when I click on the pink one, it reappears because that code is specific to this specific dinosaur, right? Awesome. So in my story, let's pretend like, this dinosaur was just like eating something and then it saw the dinosaur. So how am I going to code that? Well, if I wanted to make it look like the dinosaur is like bending into the plant to eat something, maybe I should change the costumes. So we're going to click on costumes. Awesome. So costumes is going to show you a really cool layout where you can change the visuals of your animal. You can change the color. If I don't like this pink, I can click on it, click fill, make it purple, or some other color. Now, what I want to show you guys in costumes is that there are multiple versions of that same dinosaur. This dinosaur doesn't have his leg up. This dinosaur is going to turn his head. This dinosaur is going to cry out loud. Whoa, that is a really cool one that I want because the dinosaur is going to look at it and it's going to get scared. So I'm going to keep that one. This one, not so much. Yeah, so we can get rid of number 3 and number 2. Actually, let's keep number 2. So we have this. Awesome. So we have dinosaur 2A, dinosaur 2B, dinosaur 2D. So we got rid of dinosaur 2C, by the way. All right, so now I have the costumes that I want. If you want to change something about it, go ahead. You can click on it, change the color, whatever you'd like. So we're going to click on code. And we're going to be like, okay, let's start my dinosaur kind of down here. And maybe they move up to eat this green plant. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go, okay, when green flag clicked, I wanted to glide 1 second to. Now, where exactly does this glide? This glides to the location I am at in these XY coordinates. So it's not going to move. Where I want it to go is this place. Oh. Yeah, it's loading a little bit. I want it to go in this bushy area, which is -158, -11. That's what I'm going to write, -158, -11, and I'm going to put the dinosaur in the corner. Awesome. So when I click the green flag, what should happen? Awesome. It moves up to the bush. Perfect. That's what we want. Now, what do we want to do? Okay, so now that we're there, it's going to, I want it to change the costume so that it's not always looking like it's, what do you call it? Hurdling or like walking, let's just say. So we're going to go to next costume. So now what's going to happen? I'm going to put my dinosaur back here, click the green flag. Awesome. Goes there, touches, puts down. But guess what? Every single time I want to do that, I have to put my dinosaur back at the beginning of this corner. I don't even remember where in the corner it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a specific spot to start at, and then it's going to glide. So we're going to have this go to XY button. This is the 5th button in the motion section. You grab it, it's right now has the same coordinates as the coordinates of my dinosaur. So I want it to go to this position at the very beginning. So you can actually insert your blocks of code in the middle of other code, which is so cool. It's so helpful. And now when I click on the button, it does it. And I go back, clicks on the button, it does it. Awesome. But you'll notice that it changed the costumes. So it's not giving me the same costumes every single time, but I want the same costumes every single time so that everyone who's playing my game can see the same thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to switch costume to. So this is in looks. This is the second circle, and it's the 5th command. Yeah, 5th command. So switch costume to 2A. 2A is the very beginning one, so I want it to look like that when the game starts. And then I wanted to change costume to 2B because that's the next one in the sequence. So now it should work as normal. Awesome. So we have 5 blocks of code. That's pretty good. Now what I want is this dinosaur to come out. Right? Maybe the dinosaur Timmy doesn't notice roar until later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my dinosaur like up here or something. And I'm going to go to events, which is the 4th block, and grab when green flag clicked. And then I'm going to say, okay, so what I want is this, I want this dinosaur to start in this position that I just put it in, which is 240, 35. So we have go to X 240, 35. Then what I want is I want it to glide a little bit. I want to glide 1 second to a position. Now, if you want to have some fun with it, we can grab this glide 1 second to random position block. And what is this going to do? Random position means it's going to end up in any place, any pixel, any section of my screen here. So you want to have a little bit of randomness, go ahead. It's going to go all the way here. Or it's going to go right across my dinosaur. Or it's just going to stampede over my dinosaur. So yeah, you can decide what you want, but we can also decide, okay, I just want it to go up to Timmy. Then what is it going to do? It's going to land on Timmy. So maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want it to go like really close to Timmy, but not all the way. It's like right here. That's a nice spot. That is X3, Y4. So I want to go to X3, Y4. So that is the 5th block of code. And let's see. I don't want to go to, because if I just say go to, it's not going to change anything. I want it to glide so that I can see the movement, so that I can see the dinosaur going across the screen. So I'll say glide to this coordinate. Starts here, glides here. Awesome. At this point, Timmy the dinosaur realizes, oh my gosh, I'm toast. What is it going to do? It's going to change its costume again. So we went to this costume. Now we're going to say switch costume to 2D. You could say switch just next costume, but I like to keep track of my costumes. So ta-da! Oh my gosh, awesome. So this is one way that your Jurassic Park dinosaurs can interact. You can make it interact in any way possible. I remember the Giphy that I showed you was a little different. There's always variations in this game where I was just trying to look at motion, looks, and sounds and events. We're trying to look at the different blocks of code we have. The next thing I want my dinosaurs to do now is create some sound. So if I click on the Sounds tab, you'll notice that there's already play sound pop until then. If I click on that, Do you hear a little pop? If I click start sound, pop, pop. Dinosaurs don't need a popping sound. I want something more like, ferocious, something more like I'm gonna eat you, kind of. So these sounds aren't helpful. But you'll notice that there is the ability to change the pitch, stop all the sounds, to add some effects to it, or to change the volumes throughout the key. That's really interesting, and we can use those later on in our codes as well. What we're going to do for now is we're going to click on this third tab from the top. So we have code, costumes with the paintbrush, sounds with the audio button, and it shows us that we have pop. It looks a lot like the costumes setup because of the way that you can click on the sounds. What we're going to do is we're going to put this sound in the trash. So click on this trash can, it's gone. I click on this button down below, choose a sound. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and I'm going to grab a sound that I like that makes sense for my animals. So to make this process quicker, we can go to the Animals tab. So what are the different animal sounds we have? This is going to be really fun and annoying, because you can hear a bunch of sounds at the same time. Oh, okay. So I have a dinosaur. So what do I want my dinosaur to sound like? All right, so we have, I'm still trying to decide, I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. There's no roar, that's kind of weird. Okay, we can take grunt for our roar dinosaur, for our blue one. And we can take a squeak for this guy, for Timmy. Timmy starts squeaking. And we can actually change the way the squeak sounds. So if I listen to it right now, it doesn't sound like an animal squeak. It just sounds like someone squeaking their rubber boots on the floor. So we can actually make this sound different. I can make it faster. Make it funny and slow. I can reverse the sound. Maybe I decide, I don't like it. I can just click on the trash can and remove it and choose a different sound. I go to effects. What do we have here? Bite. Awesome. So I want to use that for my roar. And for my Timmy, the little dinosaur that we have right now, we can use, no, not that one. Can use, let's see. That's funny, I can use that. I mean, probably something more that's related to screaming, but yeah, we can also search it up. So if there's like a specific one, like screaming. Oh, we have Scream 1. I like Scream 2. So we'll have Scream 2, and you can have as many sounds as you want. You can have Scream 2 and then maybe a wobble sound effect. Make it funny. So Scream 2 goes into the code of my little dinosaur here. So far, what happens? He reacts, and now I want to play the sound or start the sound. Scream 2. Now, if you wanted to do other things while the sound was playing, you could do start sound. And if you wanted to just play the sound, then just play the sound. Oh, that was fast. Okay. Yeah, so this dinosaur got scared pretty quickly. Now, I want my other dinosaur, my blue dinosaur here, to give like a big yelp. I want it to say the sound of the bite, right? So I'll get to that. So we have screaming, and then maybe this dinosaur gets more triggered and he wants to eat more. So we click on roar, click on costumes. And what costumes do we have for roar here? Some really interesting costumes. I think roar is a dancer. So yeah, and you'll notice that this picture is different than this picture. This picture is more clean cut, and this one's more pixelated. So it's just how the animators decided to make them. And you can actually, I believe you can upload your own. So if you're artistic, go for it. Let's see. How do I make my dinosaur look like it wants to eat you? Okay, well, this is where his mouth is the widest, so I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to remove all the other ones just by clicking on the trash can. Dinosaur 5A, dinosaur 5B. All right. And what do I want my dinosaur to do? I'm going to say I want it to go to events, or no, go to control, and grab the first one that says wait 1 second. I'm just going to wait 1 second because it probably takes 1 second for the other dinosaur to change costume skin, and scream. And I want that motion to happen before Roar reacts. So I'm going to wait 1 second. You can change that to like 0.8 of a second, right? So it's going to do that. And what else do I want it to do? I want it to change. Yeah, I want to change the costumes. We're going to switch costume to 5B. Now that I'm telling it has to switch the costume, I should probably tell it what costume to start at. So click on switch costume to dinosaur 5A. We can place that above here. And now let's see what happens. Yeah, perfect. That's what I wanted. So its mouth is open, but I can't hear anything. That's not cool. So we're going to click on sounds, the tab here, the third one. Play sound bite until done. So how should we make the dinosaur touch the other dinosaur? Or should we just play the sound bite? Let's see how that looks. Yeah, awesome. So because it's a full bite, I'm going to make the dinosaur look like it's on the other dinosaur. So I'm going to hold this here, keep it on the side, and I'm going to go to sensing. Actually, no, it's okay. Don't go to sensing. We're going to go to motion, and we are going to say, okay, glide 1 second to not random position, not a specific coordinate, but just Timmy, like how I showed you before. So what's going to do? Awesome. It's just going to land on top of Timmy. That's enough for us for today. We're not going to get into the specifics of making it look cleaner because it is our introductory video. So we're just going to play sound bite until done. Oh, okay. I think it glitched tribute, so. Awesome. And just to end it off, let's make sure the dinosaur closes his mouth. So we can switch costume back to 5A. Awesome. So this is the end of our project. If I click on see project page, I can see the finished results of my project. I can give instructions to people like, hi, please click the green flag. And in my notes and credits, I can like say, okay, I use the Scratch library. If there was someone else's code that you were inspired by or that you decided to like remake and modify, mention them here. And then this will show you like, oh, who saw it and they like it or not. So let's see how this looks. Awesome. So that is the end of our code. If you want to share your code to the world, you have to click on share and it will share your project to everyone, unless if you haven't confirmed your email. So please do confirm your email. That is very important. Now, one last thing I did want to mention is that at LWM, we have our own Instagram page that we're going to be updating to tell you like what projects we're working on today. That's our means of communication. So do you guys, if you have access, please do join and follow us on this, and I will post it in 1 second. Okay. So yeah, please follow us on our Instagram here. I'm trying to figure out what it was. And yeah. All right, folks. So our camp is done for today. This is our first project. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to learn the different parts of the console and how the output happens. We're going to meet next Sunday for our next class, which is going to be an actual game and one of my favorites. So I hope to see you guys soon and see you guys next Sunday. Goodbye.